Hey you guys, how's it going? James here for another update of the Sanctional event and how everything has been going, qualifying for that. So just another weekly update here. I would say this week is pretty good, not as good as my first few weeks of the series. I think I've just been having quite a bit of soreness and maybe need to take an extra rest day here. Typically I do one every 8 or 9 days or so I might need to couple up and do 2 every 10 days. For one cycle and then go back to my 1 every 8 or 9. Just to give my body a little bit of a rest there. That being said, still got some good workouts in. Hit up 2 strict handstand push-ups, focusing on that. Next week I'm going to do 50 for time. Really hope that goes well. That'll be a good little test before we get into the open here. That is in about just 2 weeks. Jeez, it seems like that's coming up soon. I guess 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So we got some time there. But yeah, so those strict handstand push-ups, I'll get into those workouts a little bit more. But something that I did do is I did 6 in a row this week, and I've never done 6 in a row. I haven't really tried to, but it feels pretty good to be able to do that. Maybe gonna come back with a vengeance in the handstand push-up workout this year. Just a little bit of sneak peek. I will be making a video explaining why I'm working specifically on this and shoulders so much. A lot of that has to do with what my specific weakness is, and that ties into my weight, which is a large reason why handstand push-ups are such a big weakness for me. My weight has been doing okay, still around that 234, just sticking in that range. So previously I had lost about 15 pounds, and I feel like a lot of people have that sticking point of the last few pounds are the hardest to lose. So what I might do is leading up to the open, I really put a big focus on just kind of splitting that halfway between 225 and where I'm at now, trying to get down to 230 just for those specific metcons, just to make it a little bit easier. But really, I'm fine with my weight. I'm fine with how I look. It's just really optimization here for the very end. Anyways, we'll get into the workouts for this week. I do appreciate you guys getting on here. A little bit of a longer intro this week. I hope you don't mind. Here, I'll show you the back of my apartment since it's so pretty. And there we go. Let's get into the rest of the video. Alright guys, so starting things off with this week is a pretty good stability session. It is a 20-minute workout. It's broken into 5 sets of 4 minutes. The first minute is going to be 5 strict press at 135 into an overhead hold for the rest of that minute. So usually about 45-second locked out overhead hold. Then you go into a minute rest, and then you have something similar with handstand push-ups, but instead you have 7 handstand push-ups followed by a lockout for the rest of the minute on the handstand push-ups. This just is one round that you're looking through here. I will speed up some of the holds as you probably don't want to watch me hold it for a minute there. But that being said, this is great stability work. It's good focus for people who struggle getting overhead or on those handstand push-ups, finishing out the rep where they lock out their arms. Obviously, in addition to stretching, you should be practice that extension hold here. So the idea here is to break down my weakness of strict and handstand push-ups specifically at the very end here. The strength will help through the middle, and then activation of my hips and kind of the technique of the kip will help in the middle portion, specifically for kipping. Cool, what is going on, you guys? I just finished a good Monday session, starting the week off right. I just wanted to give you a recap since I forgot to videotape it, as always. Start off with a good conditioning session. Obviously, you can't see this correctly, so I'll just read it out loud and I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see it later. It was starting with a 20-minute alternating EMOM. The first 2 minutes, since it's an EOMOM, 2-minute EMOM, the first 2 minutes you do a 500-meter row, held about 145, happy with that. And then the second set of 2 minutes, you do 10 toes to bar, 10 box jump overs, and 10 toes to bar. So ideally you have about 45 seconds to a minute of rest there. Just good, straight up conditioning piece, no measure there. After that, I did a 15-minute cap for reps. Once again, kind of pretty casual on the conditioning side. It was 5 times through a 20-calorie echo bike, followed by a max effort strict handstand push-ups. After you finish those max effort strict handstand push-ups, you go into 5 kipping handstand push-ups. Overall, I was able to get 45 reps. Half of those about were strict handstand push-ups. I think it's 24 and like 25 or so of strict versus kipping. Very happy with that. I hit 6 on my largest set, and that is the most strict handstand push-ups I've ever done in a row. I know I've done sets of 5 in a workout before, but I've never tested my max. Considering in the open I only got like 24 6 months ago, I'm very happy to be able to do that. After that, I finished it up with a nice easy strength session of 10x2 strict press every 90 seconds at 155 pounds. That went pretty smoothly. That is kind of fairly close to my max. I'd say my max is around 190 or so. Strict press and strict movements are not my best. I'm getting better at them with all the shoulder work, but something I definitely need to work on. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish it up with some stretching, and then I'm gonna coach. See y'all later. This is the update for my Monday. So this next workout here really ties into that barbell cycling focus of the heavier barbell. It was an extremely fun session. It was a 15-minute EMOM, starting off with one power clean, going directly into a hang power clean, and then you have 2 jerks. I decided to do them all just as push jerks. I don't do push jerks too often, so it's pretty good focus. If you look at a lot of my cleans, they're pretty easy, bouncing it out of my hang power clean pretty quickly. And then you notice I usually will pause before the push jerk. Ideally for this barbell cycling, we want to go right into that push jerk, use the dip on the receiving portion of that hang power clean, and then go directly into those push jerks. That being said, I didn't do them for some of them because my weight was at 225 the whole time. And in hindsight, maybe if I had done 215, I would be able to work on the cycling portion of this and then make that my focus, as opposed to the focus which I used of more of just a strength gain EMOM. That being said, something that I found pretty curious watching this footage over is as I extend upwards with my arms, my right arm struggles locking out a little bit more than my left arm. A lot of the times when I extend upwards, that arm is broken just a little bit. Not a broken arm, but from my elbow or from my shoulder to my hand, my elbow is not in a straight line. So something that can be worked on there is really explosive drills, working on banded drills, and then making sure I'm fully stretched out with both my tricep, my shoulder, my pec, my bicep, to make sure that I can fully lock out and I'm not being inhibited by my flexibility there with that lockout position. I think working on those things will be very helpful with working for increasing the maximum weight of my overhead jerk. Right now I'm kind of stagnating at 315, and a lot of that is caused by me fully extending upwards and then breaking slightly so that I don't lock out when I receive the weight and my body just can't take that bounce on the way back down. So working banded drills overhead or drills like this is going to be very efficient for that. Anyways, you guys, that is the weekly wrap up here. I'll be back to you in a few days with the next week. But overall, things went pretty well this week. I definitely need to dial it in before the Open, really just have a few weeks left. And I'm excited to see where, in those few weeks, where we're going to be at and how close we can get to 1,500, which is my goal for the Open. Anyways, have a fantastic week. Please like and subscribe and have a wonderful rest of your night.